What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Chips and Slips. If you tuned in last week, man, hey, Cam and I didn't do too shabby out there when it came to the player props. I didn't really pay attention to the spreads and whatnot that I picked
to
and the
the
overs,
to the book
unders.
plays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But for the player props, at least, my demons did it demon. But everything else, I mean, the demons did so bad. Even if you took the regular line, they still weren't even hitting. But all right, yeah, the demons will tell us your own risk. So, but yeah,
Literally tell at your own risk. Sprinkle. Don't throw no crazy money on those
oh,
for real. You don't want to
definitely
be
throw 1,000
down
on there.
bad or out of it. Yeah.
Um,
But man, shout out to Carlos. Filled in for me, doing 54 yards. Been busy. So shout out to him. The show must go on. Make sure you guys listen to that if you are coming over for the first time and listening to the betting show. Make sure you go tune in to 54 yards, hear the news, hear the breakdowns of all the games and stuff like that. This is gonna be our show where we strictly just pick, let you guys know who we think is gonna win this week, and obviously having some bets for you guys as well. Without further ado, before we jump into the episode, today's episode is brought to you by Novig, the sports betting app built for smarter, sharper wagers. If you're ready to take your sports betting game to the next level, download Novig today. And for all first-time users, use the code OPM at sign-up to get 10% off your first deposit, up to $100. That's code OPM. Bet smarter with Novig. Now, on to the nitty-gritty, on to the slate. Which is crazy because I haven't really had time this week to actually look at the slate, game times, kickoff times.
It's all right.
There's no morning. Slate. There's no good morning games off our what we usually reference. They're all literally at 3:30 this week, kind of like last week.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. Honestly, I wish they would kind of space some of these games out, instead of having all the marquee matchups in the same window. But we're going to start it off first with Carlos's game. Texas goes on the road to the Swamp. This is, seen as a trap game to most. I kind of said the same thing, just before the season even started. This was just going to be a tough game. We obviously thought Florida was going to be a lot better than they've shown, but they haven't lived up to expectations. But first, I'll go first on this one. Usually I like Carlos to go first, but since this is a squad, I'll go first and then I'll let him go after.
I ain't got much, I'd say that.
But I'm going to say, hey, I've been thinking about this one. Could there be an upset? Yeah. But from what I've seen from both teams, I know Florida's tested. I know they've struggled and whatnot. But, whenever I go look at that Ohio State game, I look how good Texas defense played. I look how good they've been playing. And I just trust Sark and I trust Arch a little bit more than Lagway, even though he's played bad, just because of his surrounding talent and the coach that's coaching him to put him in a better position in this game. However, the equalizer is that he's on the road again and that Florida is at home. So I think that kind of does level the playing field. But I like Texas defense better than Florida's defense. So I'm going to pick the Longhorns in this one. And for my player prop, I got two from this game. I got Eugene Wilson over 34.5 receiving yards from Florida. And I got Parker Livingston over 30.5 receiving yards. I think that line is way too low. So get that while you can. Because I thought I was man, 30 yards. He can get that easy. I mean, he's been performing in every game really so far this year. So, yeah. Carlos, let you have the floor.
Well, like I said, I didn't have much on this game. And if I were y'all, hey man, I would advise not to take both of those bets because it has been raining there all week. The field's already in slippery condition. You got I think there was a hurricane going on over there, and it's a 50% chance of rain game day. And then as the afternoon goes on, the rain will go away. But the field is gonna be muddy, wet, and whatnot. So me personally, I stayed away from player props this game. I didn't know what to expect. So I have no player prop for this game. There wasn't much on the board that I liked anyways.
Yeah, it's kind of slim pickings this week.
Yeah, so I just stayed away. But I do have Texas to win, but I also have Florida to cover. And then at the same time, with all those rain conditions and wetness, I got the under on the game.
Okay. I like it. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, weather is a big factor. Make sure you guys are looking at weather if you're into the betting market, because it will determine the game script, kind of what you can tell and what you can't tell. But on to the next game. Got Virginia Cavaliers coming in at 24 this week playing Louisville. It's a Louisville team that's gotten a lot hotter as of recently, and Virginia obviously coming off a humongous win. But I don't know. I really don't know about this game. It's kind of a coin flip game. But before I go, I'm gonna let Carlos go. Carlos, who do you got?
Well, Louisville is favored by a good margin. I think 6.5.
Really? I thought Virginia was favored. Okay.
Yeah, Louisville's favored. But coming off of a big game last week and some success, whether it was in the run game or a little bit in the pass game. Both of these defense don't rank very well in the pass defense. So I do have Louisville to win at home, but I have Virginia to cover. I have the over on the game. I think it's at like 61.5. But with like I said, with both of these defense having poor,
you learned about Virginia last week we both did taking the under.
Yeah.
I mean,
but both of these defenses having poor pass defense. I'm going with the over, and then I have both quarterbacks over on the pass yards.
Okay, yeah, I like it. I got Louisville to win as well. I think Virginia, they played well against Florida State, but I don't know that program has the players or the consistency to take this over week to week basis. I think they'll be kind of starting off slow against a Louisville team is kind of finding themselves right now. Miller Mott's playing good football. I do think it'll be a close game, but I do like Louisville just because they're at home edging them out. And for my player prop, I got Chandler Morris over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for him to score. And he's going to have to score, I think, to keep them in the game. But on to the next game. Notre Dame and Boise State. Boise State goes on the road to South Bend to play the Fighting Irish, who came off a massive win last week. Boise State, I haven't really watched them play since that week 1 loss to USF, so I'm not really too sure how they're looking right now. But I don't think this game's going to be relatively close. I mean, Notre Dame has kind of showed us that, they will struggle at times, but I do think after that Arkansas win that they kind of are getting back on the right track. I like for them to win. I don't know what the line is for cover, but I don't have any player props for this game. I kind of stayed away. I don't really know what to expect from what Notre Dame's doing because CJ Carr last week threw for 370. Will he do that again? I don't know. Will Love run for 100 yards? I don't know because maybe CJ Carr throws for over 300 yards again, so maybe they don't even need that. But
so the line is really, 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 really high. I have Notre Dame to win this game, but I have Boise State to cover because I think the spread is like 20.5 or 21.5. And I feel like for a Boise State team that was predicted to be in the playoff contention, obviously these are if you lose by 21, your season's kind of over. You have to hope and pray that, UNLV does some bad things. And South Florida and Memphis.
And Tulane.
I don't know. After Tulane got smacked by Ole Miss, I feel like the committee looks at these games like that.
That's
you get
true.
smacked by these teams like that, I don't think you deserve to, It's different for Miami because Miami's number 3 team in the nation, so that's what they're supposed to do regardless.
I mean, Ole Miss is number 4 now.
But, I mean, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Is Ole Miss going to stay at 4?
I don't think so, no. Yeah.
So, but I have Notre Dame to win. I have Boise to cover. I have them to cover because if they are a team that's going to make the playoffs or a team that we highly thought about at the beginning of the season, or at least the media, so to say, this is a game that they should not be losing by 21.5 or 20.5, whatever it is. And that defense has known to, give up points. So I took Boise to cover, and I took Maddox over on 215.5 passing yards because they will be playing from behind, so they're going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's very sharp, like that play. It should be a competitive game, for at least a little bit. But going on to another game, sneaky game, really. Washington goes on the road for the first time this year to Maryland. Man, Maryland is a spicy team. They're not, they're not too bad. They're a team that I think can get some people this year. I think this is a big game for Washington. They're going all the way across the country. It's going to be tough, I think, to go play over there. But I like Washington. I like their defense. I like the way they kind of took Jeremiah Smith out the game for the most part until he got hot later. And I like their skill players. They got a good quarterback, got a good running back, got a good receiver. Maryland has a good quarterback as well, but I just don't know if they have the personnel to kind of match up with Washington. I think Washington's going to be a good team this year. 9-3, 8-4, kind of where they're at. I think they're a year away from being a real contender in the Big Ten. But I like the Huskers, man, or not the Huskers. I like the Huskies, man. I like them in this game. Couldn't really find anything that I liked player prop wise. I like Washington's players. If I gave you one, it'd be Malik Washington over 1.5 passing touchdowns, the quarterback from Maryland. I think he could throw 2. However, Washington's defense does look to be pretty good, so I don't really know how the game's going to go from that point. But
so I'm kind of with you on that. I love Washington's defense in this game right here. They do have to travel across the country, but like you always say, defense travels. They have the weapons on offense. I know I said it in 54 yards. Maryland's that team that they'll get some random game out of them. I don't think it's here. I do have Washington winning this game. I do have the under on the score, and I have Malik Washington under 238.5 passing yards.
Okay, I like that. Fade them, and I'll take the over on the touchdowns. But on to another game. Michigan State going on the road to Nebraska. Michigan State's looked decent this year so far. They've been competitive. Nebraska's looked pretty good. They're a team that shout Will Compton. They went out. They might make the playoffs. And I think Dylan Raiola has been playing really good football. For the most part, with it because they really don't have a good running game, and he's still playing really well. Throwing the football and making plays. But Carlos, who do you got in this one?
Nebraska plays well at home, man. I know they lost to Michigan at home, but that's just a different style of game. I don't think Michigan State's anywhere close to Michigan's level. So I have Nebraska winning this game, and I have Aiden Childs under 195.5 passing yards. That Nebraska defense is like 4th in the country in passing yards, only giving up like 80 a game.
Yeah, I like it, bro. I like Nebraska here as well. I think they're a really good team. They also came off a bye week. Matt Rule is a great coach, and I think he got them right after the bye week. I think it came at the right time. You lose to Michigan in a tough game, but you still find a way to potentially be in the game at the end of the game. And now you come back home, you kind of resettle, regroup, and you got a Michigan State team that you can't take lightly coming into town. So I like Nebraska to win this game. I like for them to get right back on track. And I got 2 player props for you. Nazir Hunter over 39.5 receiving yards, and then Dylan Raiola over 244.5 passing yards. He's been throwing the ball a lot. I still think their run game is a struggle right now, and I think they're going to have to rely on him to get things going. So on to the next game.
First night. I got a lot of unders coming. I didn't like anything. There's a lot of high yardage out there, and I was like,
I don't blame you. Tech goes on the road to Houston. They just went on the road to Utah. Now they're going to play a good team, coached by Willie Fritz, a solid Houston team who had a struggle in Corvallis. They almost lost that game, but I think that game is just a weird one. You go on the road, you go in the Pacific Northwest time zone. You're playing against a team that hasn't won a game. A lot of things can happen, but they found a way to win it. They found a way to win it. But I've been high on Tech all offseason. I think Carlos is high on them now too, and they have one of the best rosters in the Big 12. It's not particularly close. I think they got a better quarterback. That's the backup. We'll see how much he plays or if he becomes an eventual starter. But the fact that they're playing so good so early, being a team full of transfers, is pretty rare. I would think most teams with a bunch of transfers like that would be playing good probably in October or November. But the fact that they did what they did in September, they went on the road, they got tested against Utah. I think they're going to be ready to go this week. I think they're going to take care of business, and I think they're going to continue to kind of make their statement as, arguably the best team in Texas. There's some things being said that they could be the best team in Texas. I saw a tweet that the Longhorns might be the 3rd best team in Texas right now behind the Aggies and the Red Raiders. So this is what I've seen on the internet.
No, I just said that because my mind automatically went to A&M. I think they're the best team in Texas right now. I kind of want to put TCU over us.
No.
Well, it's mainly just off of offensive sake. Like, offense is just such a big part of college football. Like that, it's weird.
You can't win with a good defense, even if it is elite.
Yeah,
It's
and
it'll, I mean,
that's
that was
what I
us
was
last
trying
year.
to explain to Anthony like on the phone yesterday. I was like, he was like, if you have a good defense, you should win like games. He was like, look at the
It's not the
Seahawks,
NFL.
and that's what I was telling him. I was like, bro, it's not the NFL. College is different. Like, yes, you can have a good defense, but like you still have to score points. So that's why I say that, just because the
Yeah.
way our offense has looked. I feel like college is very offensive heavy. So that's why. But
Mhm.
anywho, about that, I got Tech winning this game. Should be easy. Should be a cakewalk. I don't see them struggling this game. I mean, Houston went and they struggled against a team that's over there 0-6, 0-5, whatever they are.
0 and 5, I think. Or
0-5,
0 and 4, 0 and 4.
and
0 and yeah, whatever they are. They're
they're
0.
they're 0, yeah, and they're not even projected to win this week, and they're playing Appalachian State. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like if you're a bigger name, D1 school, you should be able to take care of Appalachian State. I know
Yeah.
Appalachian State has done some things in the past, but you know. So I have Tech. I have the over on this game, and then I have Dean Connors under 55.5 rushing yards. I think that Tech D line is something serious, man.
That is something serious. They're
They
good,
don't
man.
allow many people to run the ball.
They're pretty good. They're really good, actually. On to another game. This one's kind of got snoozer written on it. It's going to be on NBC. For some reason, when I watch an NBC game, I swear the audio be so low, bro. I swear you got to turn it up like an extra 10 or 15 on your TV or sound bar or whatever you're using for your audio. But, we got the Minnesota Golden Gophers, PJ Fleck, with his little tie and whatnot, going on the road to Columbus, play Ohio State, play those Buckeyes, who, has looked pretty good, for the most part of the year. I still think they're either holding back or they're just not, they're kind of slowly easing Julian into the offense. I think there's a lot they're leaving on the table, and hopefully, it continues to evolve as the season goes along. But in this game, I got Ohio State, and I think it's a no-brainer. I don't think Minnesota has. I don't think they're equipped to challenge him. If this game was on the road, maybe it's a little different. But the fact that it's a night game, Ohio State rarely gets night games as is, so the fans are going to be amped up, ready to go. Ready to support their team. So, I got Ohio State winning this game. I got to win them big. I don't think it's going to be close at all. Don't know what the spread is on the game.
That's a lot.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I have Ohio State winning this game. It's just talent difference. I mean, there's nothing to it. Same thing as last week. It's just talent difference. But like I said, the spread is very high. It's at 23.5, I believe. And I'm actually taking Minnesota to cover that spread. That's a lot. Minnesota football, if you watch them, they like to hold on to the ball, kind of milk the clock, run the ball, keep it in their favor. So I think that's going to be why this game is probably going to go on the under. I mean, the cover. And then I'm picking the under on the game. I forgot what it was. I could tell you here shortly. 43.5. I just don't see Ohio State scoring 43 points. And then obviously I don't see Minnesota scoring at all, really. So Ohio State would kind of have to do that by themselves. Do they have the capability to do it? Yes, but I don't think they will. So I'm picking the under on the game. And then I have Ohio State's kicker over on kicking points at 7.
That reminds me. I had Trey Smack, kicker from Florida, over 5.5 kicking points in the Florida game. So if you guys want to throw that in there last minute,
See, the field is wet. That's why they pick. Like I don't know if the field's in bad condition.
I feel you. Hey, I might have a lotto dabble for y'all, man. I'm gonna have some time tomorrow to cook up. I actually don't usually have time on Fridays, but I'll be home on Friday, so I'll be cooking up something. On to the next game. We got Mississippi State fighting Jeff Levy's, going on the road to play in College Station in the 12th man, place that they say is super difficult to play. Me and Carlos have our own opinions on that, but they're going on the road to play A&M. I'm excited for this one. It's two schools with the same color. You're going to be on the same field together. But with that being said, Carlos, who you got in this one?
The stadium's going to be rocking this game because I believe it is their blackout game. And I don't know if A&M is bringing out black uniforms. I'm not sure. That would be pretty cool. I ain't going to lie. But, I think they're just the better team here. I know that I said Mississippi State should be ranked, but this is their first road game, so that's kind of the big thing here is the first road game. How are they going to be? They're not at home. They don't have the fans supporting them. They won't have the loudness on their side. So how is that going to, uh, shake up that offense? But so I have A&M winning the game, but I do have Mississippi State to cover. I think the spread was like at 14.5 or 15.5. Thought that was a little high as well. I think this is a team that can score points and keep up with you. I think they
Yeah.
probably lose by like 10,
Mm-hmm.
10, 12, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then I have KC Concepcion over 65.5 reception yards.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I almost picked Mississippi State with the upset, but the first time going on the road, I think that's going to be huge. It's going to be hard to play there. It's going to be at night. A&M's got a lot of momentum behind them. They're currently ranked number 6, so the fan base is going to be behind them. Their offense can put up points. They didn't really do it last week, but they can do it. They've shown they can do it.
Oh, I have the over on the game as well. Sorry.
Yeah, the over. Yeah, okay, and they've shown they can do it. Mississippi State, I don't know how good their defense is. I don't think it's terrible, by any means, and they are tested. They almost beat Tennessee last week. They beat Arizona State, so they are tested. They have the ability to beat A&M, but I just think first time on the road for this team, I think it'll be a little too much for them. And I think A&M's playing a lot better on defense. I mean, they played pretty good last week, so I lean A&M right here.
That's not saying much.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I gotta give credit where it's due. I gotta give credit where it's due. I gotta give it where it's due, man.
You don't gotta play defense when the offense plays defense themselves.
That's true. Dang, right now we're all even on picks. We've all picked the same team.
What's our record right now?
I think I'm ahead of you by 1 or 2. Last time I checked on Twitter, but we're both have a good win loss. Like it's like 32-17 or something like that. So we're cruising away. Haven't had a week where we went 500 yet, none of us. So that's been good.
That's good.
But, yeah. But on to another game, man. This is one of my favorite rivalries growing up when both teams were good. Both teams are good now again, so I love seeing them both ranked. Got Miami going on the road for the first time. They still haven't left the state of Florida. I don't know how that even exists, but they still haven't left the state of Florida, and they're going on the road to play Florida State. And man, Florida State, they had a tough loss. That was a game you could kind of see the writing on the wall. It was on a Friday, it was against a team that has an offense that's capable of scoring points. It kind of had it written on there. But I think Florida State bounces back this week. I really do. I like Florida State here to win. I like for them to get the upset. I like for them to come back. I like that they're going to be at home, and they're good, and they're playing a rival at home. So I think the Doak is going to be rocking. I think the team's going to show up and play well. And I think that Virginia loss kind of woke them up a little bit. They beat Alabama this year, so it's not like Florida State hasn't been tested, and they won that game at home. So I like that just because Miami, they have been tested. They play Notre Dame early, but outside of that, I mean, they've been at home. They've been kind of comfortable. I think the difference here is going to be quarterback play. I kind of trust Thomas Castellanos more than Carson Beck, to be honest. I think he's just in the system he's in. He's playing really good football right now, and that's kind of my edge right there. So I got Florida State with the upset.
Damn, man.
No player props.
I'm just going to go ahead and play that button for both of us, man. Come on, man. Come on. The siren. Hey, first implement the siren, man. Come on, man. It's going to be war time, baby. Come on. That stadium is going to be jumping. It is at night. Hey, the last time a big opponent went over there, you know how they got down. They just got out for loss. I know they're pissed off. Like I said, I want to believe that defense is better than what was advertised last week. I really do. I want to believe that. I know that they're playing a Miami team that has a great defense. I think they're like 5th in rushing or something like that. So it'll be a little difficult to run the ball. But this is a team that's going to need to run the ball to win this game. And I think the quarterback play will do that effectively. I think it's going to be a nice little, mix and match of both. Running back, quarterback, running the ball, and then just Tommy keeping plays alive with his legs. I'm not 100% sold on Miami. Y'all know this. So it probably isn't a surprise that I'm going against them. But, yeah, it's their first road game. It's at night. The stadium's going to be bumping. They actually, Florida State it actually has a really good team. So for them, A, to keep their playoff hopes alive, B, keep the ACC championship alive, Um, and C, to prove to people that that last week was a fluke, so to say. They gotta win this game. So I'm picking Florida State to win. But if y'all don't think Florida State's gonna win, you can always pick Florida State to cover. I think the spread's at like 4.5 Miami, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of shows you how close this game's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I have, I mean, with the way that Virginia ran the ball last week. I mean, they were gashing them. I think they got like 200 rushing yards total or something like that. Um, Even if you fix that 50%, that's still 100 rushing yards. So it's still
Mm-hmm.
kind of a lot. Um, kind of. But I have Mark Fletcher over 80 and a half rushing yards for this game. I think Miami's probably going to set the tone early and run the ball, kind of show some dominance. And I feel like he'll have some big runs here and there. But I have him over 80 and a half rushing yards.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, man, it should be a good one, man. Like we said, when you have two good ranked, when you have two, historically good opponents that are ranked and have some national implications on the game, this is the night game. It should be a banger, man. I'm excited for this one. But on to the game of the week, we have number 16 Vanderbilt going to number 10 Alabama. This is a massive matchup. Obviously, there's history between the programs from last year. Pavia is coming back, beat them last year 40-35. That's when Pavia said Vandy's, effing turnt, kind of really ascended Diego Pavia into college football stardom. And playing against Ty Simpson in Alabama, a team who started off with a bad loss to Florida State. Didn't even look like their old selves, right? They completely turn it around. I think a team can go two places when you lose a game like that. You can kind of mail it in when you're hearing everybody talk about you, talk about the coach, talk about getting fired, or you can, get closer together as a team. And I think that's what they've done. They showed up last week. They handled business against Georgia, a game that they had to have. And now they're coming back home to play against Vanderbilt, a team that I think they want this game. They want this game. They lost last year. Diego Pavia has been talking very spicy. This team, Alabama, they're not overlooking them. Vanderbilt's a good team. So they're not going to overlook them in that regard. But the fact that they lost to them is going to add some extra juice onto the game. And the fact that Diego's been talking about it all year. I mean, all offseason, everyone's talking about how they lost to them. Watch any given Saturday. They highlight the game. So I think Alabama's going to be ready. I think they're going to be fired up. I don't think this game's going to be close at all. I think Alabama's going to come out and pit the sledgehammer on them. I just don't think Vanderbilt has the personnel to keep up with them. But prove me wrong, right? Maybe they prove me wrong. But I just think from what I've seen from the Alabama recently and how they've looked against Georgia, maybe if they, maybe last year if they would have lost to Alabama or beat Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt was good this year, maybe I could see them potentially, making some noise. But the fact that Alabama's had this game circled for a year and they just did what they did to Georgia, I like them, and they're at home. So I like Alabama here. For my player prop, I got two. I got Jeremy Bernard over 63.5 receiving yards, and I got Ty Simpson over 2.5 passing touchdowns. A demon.
3 touchdowns. Sheesh.
Yeah.
So I got Bama to win the game. I would love for Vanderbilt to win the game. Not even just like it would just be cool, Like I feel like that would be cool for the sport. That would be cool for the state of Tennessee and the city of Nashville. To have a team like Vanderbilt, who's been a nobody, to have success in back-to-back years against a powerhouse in Alabama. So it would be really dope for them to win. I don't think they'll do it here, but I do actually have them to cover. I think the line's at like 10.5. I think this Vanderbilt offense can, hold their own and stay on the field, and they can score. They have a great third down conversion rate, so that's huge when it comes to games like this because it shows that you can stay on the field and just keep that defense on the field, and that's how you sustain the long drives. So that's what they're gonna have to do to have a chance in this game, and I believe that's what they will do. But I do have Diego Pavia under 58.5 rushing yards. I know in college they be counting them sacks towards them rushing yards, man.
They do.
So
yeah.
I think he'll get sacked a few times here and there, and that's gonna take a toll on them rush yards. But I got that for my player prop.
I like it. Yeah, man. Kind of the slate is interesting. Like there's not like a ton of massive games like last week, but you got a couple ranked teams and you got a lot of storylines kind of circulating college football. Next weekend's gonna be crazy. you know, you're gonna see maybe you see a post game pod of me and Carlos posted up in the chairs in the backyard somewhere. You know, maybe we do something like that. But hey, it's Red River next week, you know, so hopefully both our teams look good this week, you know. Hey man, the rumblings out of Norman, man, saying, you know, shout out Dr. Shin, man. We gonna see, man. So yeah, I'm excited.
Who
Real
pays for
quick,
that?
I'm pretty sure the school.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But real quick, man, I know Carlos talked about OU in the 54 yards, but, you know, just real quick for me, you know, super excited about the game against Kent State. Excited to see Michael Hawkins play since last year with a better team around them. We should have some guys back. Giovanni Gibson, Eli Bowen. Giovanni Gibson was a receiver we brought in. Ott should get a lot of carries, you know. I don't know what his props looking like right now on Prize Picks. I ain't seen it, but hey, man, you want to gamble, I'd say take the rushing yards. I think he's gonna get a lot of opportunity this game if his prop pops up. So, you know, excited to see what we do, man. Hopefully we shut him out. You know, we have the number one defense in a lot of categories. So I would like for us to get our first shutout of the year. This is the opponent to do it against, and keep playing good, clean football. Everybody stay healthy.
Shout out, bro.
No, it counts, bro.
No,
and everybody stay healthy. You know, and if you're a betting man, take the under because I don't think Kent State will score a lot of points. And
yeah,
I think
like
just
54.5 or something.
Yeah, and I just think the way unless we get turnovers or something with short fields, I just think the way Hawkins will play, I think he'll play well and put up points. But I also think we're going to try to really run the football this game and get something established going into next week. So I think for the game to be a little condensed. But yeah, that's all for me, man. I just wanted to give you guys a little insight on OU just because you know, we do it every week, and I was
They don't even have y'all's game on Prize Picks.
Crazy.
I mean,
crazy work.
Yeah, there's just nothing to put.
So, but yeah, man, I'm excited. You know, we'll have the morning after. I'll actually be able to be home and watch the games like I always do. So I'm going to try to have some notes. Me and Carlos are going to try to have some immediate thoughts for the game, for every game that's a marquee matchup, and even some other games. You know, some side games we see. We don't mind touching on some of those. So yeah, it's super exciting. If you guys are new here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. Also, you know, make sure you guys are tapping in. We stream every so often, but officially we have been streaming every Thursdays on Assist for opinionated media for NFL games. If you guys want to watch for Carlos and I or Carlos and any of the other people on the team, make sure you guys check that out, man. It's a fun way to interact with us and watch some NFL football because we know we don't do a lot of NFL content yet, at least on this channel. So that's it for me.
One thing I want to say, the line has dropped to 4.5. Texas opened up at 7.5. I was very early, and I got the 7.5.
Wow.
You know, as soon as Monday night game ends, Tuesday morning, I'm on and try to beat the movement. But the line has dropped to 4.5. Texas opened up at 7.5.
Wow.
I picked Florida to cover at the 7.5 and the 7. So.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and the last thing, 20 mile per hour. No. Yeah, 20 mile per hour winds, I think, gust up to 35.
Okay. So. All right. Well, there you have it. There's Carlos with the live breaking betting line movement for you guys. So, yeah, man, another chips and slips. Like we said, it's already week 6. Damn, it need to slow down. It really does. But, you know, about to be the best month of the year. Red River conference play. It's about to be lit. It's about to be, you're about to really find out about some teams soon. So,
sir. But
all right.
Hopefully we make y'all some money this week, man.
Yeah, hopefully we do.
Hopefully it's not a week on, week off type deal for me, man. I hope I, you know, show out again for y'all this year.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll do it for my boys over here at Opinionated. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Hook 'em.
Boomer.